And we now take you live where HRD Minister Smriti Irani is addressing a press conference regarding the achievements of her ministry in these 2 years.
Minister to me.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm grateful for your presence today in this press conference wherein we seek to highlight our endeavors, the processes we have undertaken to augment quality education and expand infrastructure in the sector of education in our country. I am joined by my colleague, Minister of State, Shri Upendra Kushwaha. One of the biggest landmarks in terms of our endeavors to strengthen the infrastructure systems in school education will shortly be dedicated to the nation under the aegis of the Shala Asmita Yojana. Today I'm also joined by Secretary of School Education, Shri Kunthia, and the Secretary of Higher Education, Shri Vinayshil Oberoi. And before I highlight the forthcoming plans of the ministry, I would like to pause and reflect on the steps.
Well, you are watching the live telecast. In New Delhi, HRD Minister Smriti Irani speaking on the achievements of her ministry in these past 2 years. Well, we'll be going back once again to listen to the HRD Minister. She is speaking to the press on various achievements of her ministry. The centre will establish 10 startups in higher educational institutions across the country to promote energy and zeal among young entrepreneurs. It will also support setting up of 35 new livelihood colleges in states to fructify the Skill India program. This was announced by Human Resources Development Minister Smriti Irani while dedicating initiatives carried out in 10 states through video conferencing from New Delhi under the Rashtriya Uchtar Shiksha Abhiyan. She said the government will also set up modern language labs in all states to promote different languages. On the occasion, the minister digitally launched new model degree colleges in Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Odisha, among other initiatives. And all doubts have been blown away by cool eastern winds about the fate of the monsoon this year. The Met Department has confirmed its prediction of an above normal rainy season in the country, saying there are zero chances of deficient monsoon this year. Farmers can look forward to bountiful produce and the country can also rejoice at brightened prospects of 8% economic growth levels. Here's a report.
Reinforcing its initial projection of good rainfall in this year's southwest monsoon season, the Indian Meteorological Department or IMD has projected an above normal rainfall in its long-range forecast update issued for the June to September 2016 period. Quantitatively, monsoon season rainfall for the country is likely to be 106% of the long period average. And here's the good news that will bring smile to everyone's faces. Conditions are favorable for the onset of the southwest monsoon over Kerala during next 4 to 5 days.
समूचे देश के लिए मानसून ऋतु की वर्षा 106% दीर्घ अवधि औसत की तुलना में होगी. इसमें ±4% मॉडल त्रुटि है.
The Indian Meteorological Department has also said that there is 0% probability of deficient monsoon this year and 96% probability that monsoon will be normal and in excess. Region-wise, the seasonal rainfall is likely to be 108% of the long period average over northwest India, 113% of the long period average over South Peninsula and central India, and 94% of the long period average over northeast India. Monthly rainfall.
Well, we now take you back once again. Union HRD Minister Smriti Irani speaking to the press at a press conference in New Delhi on various achievements of her ministry.
Textbooks or the classroom. That a child understands the cultural impact of the society that he or she lives in. And that is why we engage children across all government schools in a program called Kala Utsav. मुझे कहते हुए बहुत खुशी है कि पिछले साल ही कला उत्सव का ये कार्यक्रम राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर संपन्न हुआ. राष्ट्र के इतिहास में पहली बार सरकारी स्कूल के बच्चे अपनी प्रादेशिक कला, नृत्य, संगीत, हैंडीक्राफ्ट्स के आधार पर एक दूसरे के साथ प्रतियोगिता कर अपनी योग्यता का प्रदर्शन करते हुए राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर पहुंचे और 5 लाख तक का इनाम वो अपने लिए, अपने स्कूलों के लिए ले गए। इस साल फिर नवंबर के माह में कला उत्सव अपेक्षित है और मैं आशावादी हूं कि इस साल भी बहुत ही जोश के साथ हमारे छात्र इसमें अपने आप को प्रस्तुत करेंगे, इससे जुड़ेंगे। After the RTE Act 2009 came into existence, one of the big challenges that academicians in the school system faced and administrators was the challenge of bringing out-of-school children back into school because there was no administrative bridge provided for the same. And that is why, recognizing that in our country currently there are 60 lakh children out of school, we in the MHRD have reached out to every state and now are in a position to provide a bridge school course so that those children who are out of school, through an exemplar model which is given to the states through NCERT, can now help bring out of school children back into the mainstream school system, an effort which we see was administratively disabled after the RTE came into force. I would also like to here highlight that many state governments expressed their concern to the Government of India that there are many standalone schools where not many sufficient amount of teaching was done, and they were of the opinion that there should be consolidation of small schools so that a larger infrastructure can be provided to children who otherwise went into classrooms with no teachers. We at the MHRD are reaching out to every state so that a matrix of regulations can allow states to consolidate schools so that children get better facilities under one roof. Children who otherwise would move from one school to another will be given transportation facilities. Given that in the last year's budget, there are many states who have been helped to consolidate the school systems in their respective states, and the success of such an engagement, we will now allow states across the country to carefully undertake this kind of a inclusive exercise in conjunction with district authorities, school management committees, and looking at the fact that they need to track the migration of every child from one school to another. Coming to Shala Asmita Yojana, for many years in our country, data with regards to school education was available in blocks. Never before was data available for the individual student, individual teacher, individual government school, for the Government of India in conjunction with states to undertake an exercise to enhance quality of education. I am pleased to share with you that in conjunction with all the states, the Government of India plans to now dedicate to the nation in the coming next 1 month the Shala Asmita Yojana, which will become the world's largest student tracking mechanism, wherein we will have the capacity to have a daily track of attendance of students going to government schools, attendance of teachers, attendance of even the non-academic staff that goes to the school, which will help us intervene in terms of learning outcomes that needs to be enhanced. This will be done in conjunction with state governments, where the Government of India becomes a facilitator in terms of what is the pathway that needs to be undertaken to upgrade schools that are lacking not only in quality education, but also lacking in terms of infrastructural needs. This kind of a mammoth exercise is a first of its kind which will be taken in the school education sector. I am also pleased to share with you that currently close to 16 states are undertaking a student-related child tracking mechanism which has helped them rationalize not only enrollment, helped them also highlight the attendance matrix in their institution, and also engage with teachers more productively. The database for the entire country will be available for analysis by the Government of India because of this initiative completely by March 2017. I am hopeful that the surge of quality in the school sphere can be addressed through this engagement wherein we seek to leverage technology. Before I move on to higher education, let me also express my deep gratitude to all the states who have ensured that they give us their fullest cooperation in the Swachh Vidyalaya initiative. राष्ट्र के इतिहास में पहली बार माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने लाल किले के प्राचीर से ये राष्ट्र के समक्ष निवेदन प्रस्तुत किया कि क्या ये संभव है कि 1 साल के अंतराल में हम हर सरकारी स्कूल में लड़कियों के लिए अलग से टॉयलेट की व्यवस्था करें। अपने आप में ये चुनौती बहुत बड़ी थी, लक्ष्य समय सीमा के अंतर्गत ही हमें प्राप्त करना था। इसलिए मैं आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ सभी राज्य की सरकारों के प्रति, सभी ऑफिसर्स के प्रति कि पहली बार राष्ट्र ने देखा कि कैसे 4,17,000 से ज़्यादा स्कूली टॉयलेट्स भारत सरकार और प्रदेश की सरकारों के समन्वय के माध्यम से हम बनाने में सक्षम रहे, हम बनाने में सफल रहे। ये भी यहाँ कहना उचित होगा कि पहली बार हमने देखा कि मात्र कागज पर स्ट्रक्चर को खड़ा करने से हमने संतोष नहीं किया। हमारी ओर से भारत सरकार के 300 से ज़्यादा अफसर राष्ट्र के हर जिले में गए ताकि वो स्वयं निरीक्षण कर इस बात की पुष्टि कर सके कि वाकई में वो टॉयलेट, वो सुविधा वहाँ पर दिलवाई गई छात्रों को या नहीं। So for this initiative to meet historical success, I reiterate my gratitude to all the officers, the state governments that were party to the success of the Swachh Vidyalaya campaign. Moving on to the higher education sector, I would like to firstly highlight that we in the Government of India were aware that there were pendency with regards to regulation for the IITs, the Indian Institute of Information Technology, a bill that was long pending and passed in the year 2014 and notified in the first month of 2015. I am also pleased to share with you that the School of Planning and Architecture bill, which also was pending since 2013, disabilitating the degree-giving capacity of these institutions, was passed under the leadership of this very government in both houses of parliament. I would like to state that under this government, in the past 2 years, we have opened 6 new IITs, 1 NIT, 5 IIITs, 6 IIMs, 2 IITs, 1 NIT, 5 IIITs, and 1 ISA. I am hoping that the emergence of these new institutions across the states will also add to quality education in the higher education sector. I would like to compliment not only the Secretary of Higher Education but also our regulators who have for the first time rolled out the National Institution Ranking Framework. We had made a promise to the nation and particularly our students when we had launched this initiative on the 29th of September 2015 that we will give a ranking framework to the country in the first week of April, and keeping that timeline, the first ranking separately for the fields of engineering, management, pharmaceuticals, architecture was dedicated along with universities on the 4th of April 2016. I would like here to add that over 3,500 institutions across the country joined us in this exercise, making it the most and the highest participated ranking exercise in the entire world. I would also like to share that from the next academic year onwards, ranking will be now additionally be available for medical and law institutes as well. I would like to here express my gratitude to the IIT Council that accepted the Government of India's suggestion that fees be waived off for our students who are from the SC/ST community, students who are differently abled, and students whose annual income is less than 1 lakh rupees. Additionally, students whose family annual income is less than 5 lakh rupees have a waiver now of 2/3 of their fee, a first of its kind under this government. To enhance increased participation and engagement of students through the regulator with education institution, the Know Your College portal was dedicated to the country in November 2014 so that students can make informed decisions as to which organizations or institutions do they seek admission in. आज मुझे कहते हुए हर्ष है कि नो योर कॉलेज पोर्टल पे वर्तमान समय में देश की लगभग 50,000 इंस्टीट्यूशंस अवेलेबल हैं उनकी पूरी डिटेल्स के साथ, ताकि जो भी छात्र एडमिशन लेने से पहले अपनी इंस्टीट्यूशन के बारे में पूरी जानकारी प्राप्त करना चाहता हो, they can avail of this information at the click of a button. I would like to here state that to leverage technology and enhance our engagement with the student, for the first time, all NCERT books were made available free of cost from classes 1 to 12 in English, Hindi, and Urdu. Additional books available through the system of CBSE were also made free, available on the e-portal.She and e-CBSE portal and web and mobile app. I would now like to add that in the higher education sector, in the forthcoming next 1.5 months, by the end of next month, close to 1,000 course materials for undergraduate and postgraduate courses will be available free of cost for our students in the higher education sector. Understanding that our nation is a nation of diverse languages, celebrated diverse cultures, we have dedicated on the 25th of last month the Bharati portal, wherein free information in various Indian languages is available to all citizens. I would like to add that in the first year, our Bharati portal has higher education material in over 22 languages, which will be scaled up to 100 languages in the forthcoming 1 year. Also, we have 130 glossaries of various languages and terminologies. The mobile app currently has information in 35 Indian languages and dictionaries, which will be scaled up to 250 languages in the next 1 year. The importance of this language engagement is this, that in the higher education sector, our students are challenged by the language barrier, and thus we believe that this engagement will also help them bring about a better interface with their faculty members or other fellow students. I would here also speak about the fact that there has been an impetus given to skill, wherein on one side we have through the AICT appealed that every engineering or management institution that wants to utilize their infrastructure to doubly provide for skill training can do so if that training program has an established national occupational benchmark without coming to the regulator for any kind of permission. I would also like to say that an impetus similarly is being given under the UGC, under the Kaushal Vikas Kendra, so that there is an amalgamation of effort between academia and our skilling programs. I would like to say here that in terms of internationalization of curriculum and an increased and enhanced engagement with international academia, for the first time in the history of our country, the Government of India has facilitated over 500 foreign academicians to come and teach in Indian government state institutions or central institutions at no extra cost to any student or faculty member. I am happy to share that in this year, exponentially this figure is to rise to at least 1,000 such teachers. I would also like to say that apart from our initiative of Gyan, this morning as I expanded on our engagement of states for the RUSA program, I have confirmed to all states that we have celebrated academicians from very established and celebrated institutions internationally who have now committed themselves to help upgrade our curriculum, especially in the state sector of higher education. I can confirm that academicians from UC Berkeley, University of Pennsylvania, Georgia Tech, University of Washington, MIT, Yale, Cambridge, University of Edinburgh have given us their confirmation that they will help upgrade the curriculum systems in our state universities and colleges if the state governments so desire. We will also look forward to their active engagement, including an engagement between AICT and the Stanford University, which I think will be extremely beneficial for many engineering students across the country. Given that we have a plethora of announcements, given that we have a plethora of progressive work that has been done in the past 2 years, I would now, before I take questions, only say that the 2 years that we have spent in this department have been spent in identifying those gaps which have gone unnoticed for a very, very long time. Education sector was being serviced in silos. There were many announcements made, but in terms of implementation, we found many schemes lacking on the ground. It has been the effort of officers of both Department of Higher Education and School Education to ensure that, as it's said in English, that God lies in the details, that it is that detail, it is that God that we pursue. My grateful thanks to all states and all citizens of the country who have reposed their faith in us, and my assurance to them that we will continue to deliver on the promise of quality education. I would also like to share that we have made an e-book of our journey of the past 2 years, which will be available for public view on our MHRD website and our Twitter handle, and I'm sure through today's press conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for your...
Well, you were watching the live telecast. Union HRD Minister Smriti Irani there speaking about plans that her ministry has for the future, like the consolidation of schools, the Shala Asmita Yojana, or say the scheme to is basically a tracking system, and also the achievements of her ministry, the opening of a number of higher educational institutions and such.